The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Brian Haynes alongside. Jeremy Greene is here as well, as we've got him on the third camera for Mock Draft Monday. It is Mock Draft Mania. Mock Draft Mania in the Sportsocracy all week long, and there went Tom Brady, Brad Johnson.
Yeah, you were close.
Sorry, the second greatest quarterback in Tampa Bay history. The football just fell off and hit the camera, so that's awesome.
It's been a hell of a morning.
It is a hell of a Monday morning here in the Sportsocracy. We are live in a Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Brian Haynes, Jeremy Greene. We did all that. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, here we go. Mock Draft Monday. We're doing Superflex mock draft today. We're going to do a different type of a draft every day this week. So you can have all of your strategies debated, analyzed, and all of that. We have invited many of our lovely followers to take part in the live mock draft here. Mm-hmm. So in the draft room, we've got Flo Stradamus.
Yep.
Mr. Jeremy Greene himself picking at number 1. Michael Whiteside's got the 2 spot. Scott Cutshaw with the 3. Kevin Vick at 4. Adam Harris at 5. Brian Haynes takes the 6th spot.
Yep.
And then I'm all by my lonesome down here at the 10th spot.
There's still 5 spots left if anybody wants them.
That's right. Get them. Get your request into me here real quick, so I can get you the link to the.
Someone else just joined in on the 8th.
Okay. Who is this? JLT Money. I don't know who that is. But anyhow,
we'll totally say your name.
We will totally say your name.
You
just got to tell us who it is. Yeah, Jason Trump. That might be the one. Anyhow, we're going to do the Superflex mock draft over the next hour or so here. First off, any recaps from the weekend? Anybody give a shit about what's going on?
Hey, Deshaun Watson's going to get traded. Yeah, I already told you that.
The Houston Texans say they're ready to listen to offers. No kidding. Deshaun Watson will be traded soon. We've got continuing talk about the Texas-Oklahoma bounce to the SEC. It looks like that is imminent. And now the focus is on Notre Dame. Notre Dame to join the ACC.
Yeah,
and West Virginia. How about that? West Virginia Mountaineers are all excited about joining the ACC now.
Country roads, take me home.
Look,
to place.
to me that's a marriage that should have existed a long time ago.
Amen.
West Virginia in the ACC only made too much sense.
Yeah.
But that's the way the ACC can fill out its league to 16 teams.
Yeah.
Get Notre Dame to sign on full time, which if Notre Dame's going to sign with any conference, they're under contract. They have to go to the ACC.
Bingo.
I think last year was proof positive for Notre Dame. At this point, they have to align themselves with a conference, and it's going to be the ACC. So Notre Dame will join the ACC. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
The West Virginia will bounce out of the Big 12 and join the ACC as well, which. Whew. Just thinking about West Virginia, not football, but West Virginia basketball in the ACC.
Yeah.
That kind of gave me a little chub.
Yeah, and
I'll be honest with you.
And the Big 12 will be just nobody.
Yeah, the Big 12 will demolish.
They'll get Houston and...
Just as I predicted when this happened, because the Big 12, to me, is Texas and Oklahoma. Without Texas and Oklahoma, the Big 12 will disintegrate.
Yeah.
But we can talk about more of that this afternoon on the ESPN Asheville Show, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, weekdays from 3 to 5. The Team USA lost to France last night. 83.
Somebody said this.
83 to 76 was the final score. By the way, did you see Luka Doncic? Luka Doncic made his Olympic debut and scored 48 points.
Hey, he's good at basketball.
Yeah, he's damn good.
Yeah.
It was the first win in Olympic competition for Slovenia.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to be shocked if they actually make a threat to medal in these Olympics. What you have, who I believe is probably the best player in the world on your team. It's going to matter for Slovenia. But anyway, that's That's another topic for this afternoon. We'll get into all of those stories, but looks like we have all of our participants that are going to be making it in for the mock draft Monday here.
Still got 3 spots left, and they're in the back of the draft.
Rob Johnson just jumped in at 7.
All right, we got Rob Johnson. We got. Did we confirm that is Jason Trump?
Yep,
that is Jason Trump.
All right, that is Jason Trump. JLT Money at the 8 spot. We got the 9, 11, and 12 spots. Going to be run by computers because let's get this thing started.
Yeah.
All right. We'll hit the old start draft button here.
Ooh, here we go.
And he got 3 minutes on the clock for Mr. Flo Stradamus. So it is a super flex league. How much does your draft strategy change in a super flex, Jeremy?
For this pick, not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. It's Dalvin Cook no matter what.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Dalvin Cook to Jeremy is the number 1 guy to have in fantasy football this year. Not a shock that he went with Dalvin Cook at number 1. Christian McCaffrey comes off the board, which Kevin Vick, why didn't you try to get in that spot? Alvin Kamara is number 3 off the board to Scott Cutshaw. I like that pick. However, I don't like that pick. To me, 3's a little high for Alvin Kamara. But in New Orleans, he is going to be the only guy that they have, or one of the only weapons that they have all year long.
Right.
Vic in a box goes with Jonathan Taylor at number 4. Patrick Mahomes, the first quarterback off in the super flex. Number 5, too high for the first quarterback?
Nope. That's fine. I'll be honest with you, I considered taking him at 1. I like a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Derrick Henry goes to Brian at the 6th spot, so it's not much of a variance here from a normal draft, except for
Patrick Mahomes.
Wouldn't see quarterbacks go in the first round.
I think you were going to see those top 5, 6 running backs go off in the first round. I think the second round is where you're going to see some quarterbacks. That's at least what my thinking was going into this. This is actually my first super flex draft that I've ever been involved in. So, bear with me because I'm probably going to make a few mistakes.
Right.
But, hey, I got an idea. I listen to the show. I watch the guys. I've been involved. I kind of know a little bit about what's going on.
Since we are using the platform as well, we need to give a shout out to the Sleeper app. Sleeper.app on your web browser, but download the Sleeper app onto your phone. It's absolutely free. I use it a lot. It's a whole lot of fun. There are a whole lot of communities that you can get into fantasy football discussions with. Robert Johnson, you are on the clock in case you were unaware, with a minute 40 to go on the clock. Anyhow, waiting on that 7th pick there. Check out the Sleeper app. It's a whole lot of fun. It's one of the oldest leagues that I am in. We have made the switch over to Sleeper. There's a lot of cool customizable things for your fantasy drafts, and a lot of people want to stick to the main sites, to ESPN, Yahoo, CBS. I don't know, CBS, do they even do fantasy football anymore?
I'm not a CBS
show that I liked, but I don't know if they.
My dynasty is on CBS. We've been wanting to get out. It's over the last couple of years. There's been a lot of issues that we've ran into that we haven't been very happy with.
Right.
Their app is the Sasquatch of fantasy football. Because I ain't never seen it. I've heard about it, but I've never laid eyes on it.
I've never seen it either. We left CBS a long time ago in all of the leagues that I've ever been in. NFL Network sucks. It's bad.
Yeah.
So
don't
bad.
use NFL.com.
Yeah,
it's
NFL,
brutal.
The NFL.com fantasy app is not good.
Robert Johnson's got 35 seconds. I'm wondering if he's still figuring out how to use it. He might be auto-drafted here soon.
He's like, I don't know. Should I take Travis Kelce at number 7, or are they going to make fun of me?
No. I'll never make fun of you for Travis Kelce. It is Travis Kelce season.
Right. Of the running backs that have gone so far, though, to me, Alvin Kamara is the one that's out of place.
I think Jonathan Taylor might be a little high.
Really?
I thought that as well.
I think Derrick Henry's a little high.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I think that's a little high.
Jonathan Taylor, I could get with you on that one. Oh, auto draft.
Oh, no.
Auto-drafted him, Zeke.
Oh,
no.
That's a penalty. That's some kind of penalty. Ezekiel Elliott, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill come off the board. Now it's my pick with 3 minutes on the clock.
And Jason Trump went Travis Kelce or bust. Good pick, good job. I was kind of thinking about that at 6. I just kind of pass up on a Derrick Henry running back.
On a Derrick Henry running back?
I couldn't, yeah, on Derrick Henry at running back. That's what I meant.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say.
Gotcha. I was like, are there multiple Derrick Henrys now?
Now, what does Tank do here? Does he go Saquon? Does he feel like maybe this is a bounce back year for Saquon Barkley?
Saquon Barkley should not still be here.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I don't love him, but good hell. At 10? At 10 with one quarterback going. By the way, holy shit, am I glad I didn't take a quarterback at 1.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. I don't think the strategy changes all that much.
It does. You're wrong. My next 2 picks will both be quarterbacks. 100%. Or I could be lying to you. I do tend to like to do that during fantasy football.
I meant as far as the first round is concerned. The strategy in the first round doesn't really change all that much for me. It's get the best running back on the board. And it's Saquon Barkley.
Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins go off the board, and we're back to Tank.
Now you got to take a quarterback. Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, I think.
Mr. MVP of 2021 in the NFL.
Woo, Kyler Murray.
Stephon Diggs, Kyler Murray. Come off. That's a hell of a start there, by the way. Travis Kelce, Kyler Murray.
I'm totally fine with that in a super flex.
I am digging it. Because that's the other thing. You also have another flex spot. So if you wanted to even go with another tight end.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do the 2 tight end thing. First of all, I perfected that, and I would really like respect put on my name when people do that.
Put some respect on his name.
It will blow up in your face unless somebody comes to get one of those. Stop drafting people with the intention of trading them. Works at the back end of the draft. Stop doing it in the second round.
No, I'm saying in this instance, you can even start 2 tight ends and a quarterback in your super flex.
You can, but you don't want to.
You don't want to do
this
that.
This is not a tight end. It's
not a tight end premium. We'll do the tight end premium mock draft later on in the week.
Yeah. I went with Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I feel like there was a spot to get it. I'm feeling pretty happy with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson at my first 2 picks so far. Kevin Vick's up. He's got Jonathan Taylor. I feel like, maybe he's thinking the same way about going quarterback.
Sam Darnold. He's going Sam Darnold. He's the Panthers fan. He's going Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold no matter what.
Oh, he goes Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
It's an aggressive strategy, Cott.
Russell Wilson comes off the board.
I don't necessarily hate that. Justin Jefferson, start out your league. Not bad. Russell Wilson, Alvin Kamara is the first tandem here for Scott Cushaw. Dak Prescott comes off, and now Flostradamus has his choice of quarterbacks.
And I got a strange feeling it might not be quarterback. I feel like we're at this point. I'm not sure.
Najee Harris.
I don't know if there's a difference between them and
George Kittle. Okay, so no quarterbacks here for Mr. Flostradamus.
It's not necessarily just Travis Kelce no matter what. It's Travis Kelce, George Kittle, or Darren Waller no matter what.
It's a hell of a start there, though. Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, George Kittle. Najee Harris is the one that I can't get my head around Najee Harris.
Well, you're wrong.
Especially in the second round.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Well, and I could be wrong. This could be the one that I'm just tapping out on. Look, I get that he's going to get a lot of run this year. What was the stat somebody put out on Twitter the other day of if you think that Najee Harris is going to get 18.7 touches per game, that would come out to a little over 300 touches for the entire year. Of the last, 68 running backs to have 300 touches in a season, 66 of them finished as RB 13 or better. Najee Harris's ADP right now is running back 14.
Yeah.
So why would you not take the gamble on that?
Yeah.
Because Pittsburgh's going to run the ball.
Yeah. They've got to.
They want to take the pressure off of noodle arm.
Yeah, they got to try to save Ben Roethlisberger's arm. I don't know how much longer it can hold out. But, who knows?
Oh, he's in the best shape of his life.
Could be a resurgence. You know what I mean? You never know.
After George Kittle, Darren Waller comes off, so immediately the top 3 tight ends are gone.
Yeah.
So that takes tight end off the board for me.
Yeah, that takes tight end off the board for me for
while.
quite some time now. I'll be looking to go tight end at about, I don't know, 10th round or lower, I think.
It's fine. I don't have to worry about that. I don't even need another one.
Yeah.
I just roll Mr. Kittle. It's fine. No big deal.
A.J. Brown, solid
Makes
pick.
drafting a lot
J.K.
easier.
Dobbins, great pick. Ooh,
Antonio Gibson going into the 3rd round to Adam Harris is a travesty of all travesties. That's the best value pick anybody's had in this draft so far. What does Brian do? He only has one quarterback.
Only. I've never done this super flex league, and I feel like I want to do this because I haven't done it before. I've heard how much of a premium they are, and this fella is just sitting right there. I'm just going to go ahead and grab him and lock up my 2 quarterback positions. I think that's the way to go in a super flex. I get to start Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert every week. I'm pretty happy.
There's definitely a merit to that.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, you're going to be solid at quarterback, so your floor will be higher.
Yeah.
The problem is that with your running backs, you better hit on somebody.
Yeah.
And wide receiver and tight ends, you're basically just going to punt to the end of the world.
I have there's a certain strategy I have in mind, and I'm hoping it plays out that way. Because I have this feeling there's going to be, there goes DJ Metcalf, Calvin Ridley.
Certain strategy.
Yeah, I do. Things are playing out pretty well. I wanted to have 2 quarterbacks and a running back in my first 3 picks is what I was going with. And I'm feeling like I'm doing so around the same lines right now. Tank's up, and he's got a great quarterback. He's got a very high ceiling. Saquon Barkley, who could have a reemergence this year. What does he do now?
Well, I don't really like the running backs.
You don't like what's happening now, do you?
I don't like the running backs.
It's just a big poo, isn't it? It's all the poo.
It's not necessarily a big old poo. It's just I would rather have a better running back here to choose. Robert Johnson really fucked me because I was hoping that Josh Jacobs was going to be there for my second running back.
Well, here's the thing. When you do a show every day telling people exactly who it is you want, it gets real hard to draft against them.
It does. It gets very, very hard. So I'm thinking I need to go with a wide receiver here.
Who do it?
Do what? What'd you say?
So the team 9, the quarterback was pointing out what Mike White said. They have gone wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver.
Yeah, team 9, super. That's an aggressive strategy. Hey, let me tell you a little secret about team 9. They suck.
Team 9's gonna be bad.
Yeah, team 9 is gonna be the team in your league that winds up getting the tattoo of Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott riding a horse together.
Oh God!
All right,
So
I'm going
glad
with
I never-
Keenan Allen. He's steady, solid dude at wide receiver, and then on the turn, let's see what went after me. DeAndre Swift, Michael Thomas, nice job. Allen Robinson,
Yeah, Michael Thomas is
Clyde
going to be out for a
Edwards-Helaire.
month. Started in the beginning of the regular season.
And
While Tank is deciding, let me say something. Since Michael Thomas came up, we do this every year, and I can't say this passionately enough. Stop taking hurt players, not early, but Michael Thomas at this point should go no earlier than the 8th round.
Yeah.
right.
If you take him before that, you get what you get. Because you're taking him as a premium starter, and you do not know how many games he's going to play. And let's face it, there is a possibility that New Orleans sucks a whole mess of a lot. And they're 2-6, and Michael Thomas doesn't play a game all year.
Yeah.
Do I think that happens? No. But I would be remiss if I didn't point it out.
I'd also be remiss not to mention Robert Johnson now has 3 running backs, and he is in a position to, I would think, maybe have to take quarterback here.
Nope. And you know what? I'm with him.
Yeah, there he goes.
I think Robert Johnson is actually killing this.
And this is something...
Because here's the thing. Look at the teams across the board. All right, so you got one team that has no running backs, one that has one, and little old me down here that took 2 early, and I don't have to fuck with it anymore.
Yeah. And
Now I can take flyers on receivers. I can do whatever I want to. And notice that all those quarterbacks, notice that stopped happening.
Yeah.
It's weird how that worked.
And I'm sticking true to what my plan was, and I'm taking a running back here, and I'm going Kareem Hunt.
Well, it's after the elite of the elite, because to me that's part of the strategy in a super flex is that I want to have one of the elite guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, but I'm not going to do it in the first round because I think that's going to vulture my value that I'm going to have on my running backs.
Here's the thing. With quarterbacks, especially in the super flex, people start taking them early. I've told you on the show 100 times, when the public goes one way, you go the other way.
Yeah.
Fantasy drafts are absolutely the best place that you can do this. Because right now I'm looking at it with everything that's on the board, and at 4-12 right there, or 5-1, I still have, in terms of quarterbacks on my board, I don't obviously hate Aaron Rodgers. There are a slew of guys that I've talked about, and I'll be honest with you, my theory of go vet quarterback with two of the young guys, yeah, I think I might just do that.
Yeah. I went with Miles Sanders as my second running back. Terry McLaurin, Chris Carson, Mike Evans, Kareem Hunt. Those are the last 4 picks after mine. I like Miles Sanders this year. I think that he is going to be leaned on a lot in Philadelphia.
His numbers definitely increase.
And if they happen to get a quarterback,
Yeah.
if they happen to make a trade for a quarterback, I still feel really damn good.
To be honest, his numbers did increase with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, but if you remember, a lot of those were on 2 big plays. And it was like an 88-yard run and like a 70-yard screen pass.
Right.
I think we're back-to-back weeks where if you took those out of the equation, his numbers would not have looked that good. I do think that Miles Sanders is going to have a good year this year, regardless, because I don't think they can do anything else.
Right.
I think it's going to be a situation where it's kind of like the early years of what you saw with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
As far as how the offense is going to be run.
Chris Carson is the one that sticks out to me in this latest run of just guys that, he's going to get his hands on the ball a lot, but I don't know. Chris Carson to me is a lot like Frank Gore was for his years in San Francisco. Like, he's steady, he's going to give you a floor, but there's not a whole lot of upside.
Here's the thing I can't figure out in fantasy drafts.
Yeah.
There are a slew of guys that I don't understand how you get excited to take them. I'm just looking at the board as it sits right now. Scott Cutshall just took David Montgomery in the 4th round.
Yeah.
I think you had to because that's his second running back. You're not excited about it.
No.
Michael Whiteside just took Kyle Pitts as his second tight end. Interesting strategy, Cott. I don't think you're going to like the way that team looks at the end of the day. The question is, what could you get for Kyle Pitts? What could you get for Darren Waller? Probably a guy that went after him. Looking at Michael Whiteside's roster, he's got 1 running back. So if you just go back through time, that would have been on the go up. So, do you think you could get Austin Eckler for him? Maybe you swap a couple late round things, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking at what I've done. I've got 2 running backs, George Kittle at tight end, so now I don't really have to do anything. If I'm going to punt any position, it's going to be wide receiver. And I'm not going to lie, I don't love much of anything here. And by I don't love it, I borderline don't even like it. So I'm going to take high upside guys.
Okay.
Julio Jones could be a wide receiver 1.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a doubt in this world about that.
Yep.
And I've said it, I think CeeDee Lamb is the number 1 wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, who have the highest profile offense in the league.
I agree. I think you're going to see CeeDee Lamb be the number 1 in Dallas this year. I've said it a couple times. A lot of people are still pointing towards Amari Cooper, and I just don't see it. I think Cooper's going to be one of those guys that has 3 or 4 games that are big, but those other games, he's going to be very frustrating because he's going to go for 3 or 4 catches for 40 yards on certain games, and then you're going to sit him, and then he's going to go for 10 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
He's going to be very, very frustrating this year.
Always play him at home.
Yeah.
Always play Amari Cooper at home. When he's on the road, fade it as much as possible. Obviously, if you're going to spend high draft capital on a guy like Amari Cooper, you're not going to bench him. And that's the thing that concerns me about taking him high in a draft is I've got a guy that I can't trust every week to trot him out there, because there is a chance that I'm going to have a really bad game in there somewhere. Mark Andrews goes to Scott Cutshaw off the third pick in the 5th round.
And I'm fine with the value on that. I mean, I'm not drunk on Andrews, but he's certainly the last draftable tight end up here to me.
In the top of the top half of the draft.
I wouldn't say the top half, but in the top. To feel definitively sure that you've got a tight end that you're not going to have to fuck with anything else. I think Mark Andrews is the last one you can take.
Aaron Rodgers comes off the board to Kevin Vick. He's got his quarterback.
Well, hell.
And his team actually doesn't look I like where he's going so far. Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins at running back. He's got Justin Jefferson, Chris Godwin at wide receiver, and Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I think that's not a bad top 5 to start off with.
Not at all, because you know you're solid at running back. You know you're solid at wide receiver. Now you've got Aaron Rodgers, and now you can pair Aaron Rodgers, with a guy who's got a lot of upside at some point later on in the draft. You don't he's not pigeonholing himself into desperately taking a quarterback. I like the way he's built it.
The question is, will I be the last non-computer generated team to take a quarterback?
Yes.
I agree, and guess what? I'm fine with that.
I think Robert Johnson might get in a stalemate with you here, though. He's going to see if he can outlast you.
Yeah.
I am fantastic
he's the only
at the
one
Mexican
left.
standoff.
He is the only one left. I would imagine there's going to be a run of quarterbacks here coming at the back end of the draft.
So, and at this point, I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. You will find value in quarterbacks somewhere, because the difference between the high-end guys and the middle-of-the-road guys is just not that different. If you told me at the back end of at some point in this I end up with Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, okay, I'm just fine with that.
And I was going to go wide receiver here because I haven't gotten one yet, but there's a guy that the upside for him this season because of an injury is hard for me not to take him on the bench and have him as my 3rd running back.
Don't do it.
And that's Darrell Henderson.
Don't do it. Oh no, he did it.
I think
Darrell
that
Henderson.
Hey, you're closer to the you're closer to the HD button. Wrong one.
Is that right?
Which one?
Howard Dean.
Wow, winning.
Not that at all. There it is. Stop it with Darrell Henderson. For the love of God, stop it with Darrell Henderson. This is a guy that was a 12th round pick 2 weeks ago. He's not going to get the full workload in LA.
No, he's not.
The beneficiary of the Cam Akers thing was Matthew Stafford and Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Straight up. Now it will be some mixture of Darrell Henderson, Raymond Calais, Jake Funk, who sounds like an old school hardcore ECW wrestler.
I mean, if you looked at Cam Akers and his stats actually side to side from last year, Darrell Henderson had basically the same numbers that you saw from Cam Akers.
And here's my question. How many carries does Darrell Henderson have in 2 years with the LA Rams?
Not that I know.
He averages 80 a year.
Yeah, I get it. But
the
now
chances of him going from 80 to 240 are damn near non-existent.
Well, he's going to be the number 1 option there, and I don't mind that. I think I'm picking on upside. I'm picking on the fact that I feel like there's as my 3rd running back. He's not in my top 2 running backs.
And I totally get that.
Yeah.
Where I would have varied from you, I feel like range of outcomes for Darrell Henderson, the chances of him being an RB2 are 50-50. I look at a guy like James Robinson, who went right behind him, and I would say his chances to be an RB2 are probably 70-30.
Right. Yeah.
Because even if he splits carries with Etienne's going to run out of the slot. I've seen James Robinson be good, and I've seen him have workload.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have even hated Etienne over Darrell Henderson.
Right.
I would not personally have done it. I'd have just tapped. I'd have said, you know what? I got 3 running backs. I'm good. Because now you're looking at wide receiver. I would have switched the Rams. Had you taken Robert Woods instead of Darrell Henderson, I think you'd have been happier with your team when we're done with
How
this.
many wide receivers is Team 9 going to take?
All of them. They're gonna they have 6.
That's not 6
Team
wide
9's
receivers
drunk.
in 6
Team 9
rounds.
was supposed to be Zach Ertz. Damn it, Team 9's drunk.
They took Cooper Kupp after James Robinson. I went with Adam Thielen. Look, I know I talk. Jeremy says I like to talk shit about Adam Thielen.
You do.
But it's not really talking shit about Adam Thielen. It's just, to me, there's a chance that he's not going to be as good as he was last year. But he's still going to get a lot of targets in that offense with Kirk Cousins. I mean, you want to go ahead and razz on me for my second quarterback pick here?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
Of course he picks Tom Brady. Yeah.
Tom Brady. I feel really good with Tom Brady and Josh Allen. What? Why is Tom Brady not the choice there?
I knew there was a reason. You see how there's shit out of this bottle? Team 9 and Tank. Yes, there's a handle of Crown Royal on my desk. Fucking judge me.
I don't judge at all.
Okay, life's hard sometimes. Fucking leave me alone.
And, I get back around there. I was able to take Kenny Galladay.
No, he got his.
I got my guy. He got my guy.
All right, homer pick. Yeah.
Homer pick, but as number one, my first wide receiver, I'm not hating it.
Nope.
I'm not hating it at all. I think Kenny Galladay is up for a big year. I think the more and more I'm getting into it, I know that I'm a Giants fan, but I've heard some really, really good things, and I know it's training camp. I don't necessarily think Daniel Jones is going to be an all-pro or a Pro Bowl player. I think there's going to be a progression, and he's going to at least prove that he should be the starting quarterback there. I think that the weapons around him have been upgraded, and I think we're going to see less turnovers like we saw at the end of last year. Why? I just think that there was another year of learning system and understanding what's going on, and you have options. A lot of those fumbles, a lot of those things, he couldn't get a wide receiver open. He couldn't get nobody. I think they have a better chance of seeing better options. Saquon coming back is going to be huge for him. So I'm thinking we're going to see a better Daniel Jones this year.
Okay, all his hopes
and
dreams in Danny Dimes.
He's the last need that you needed.
You do that at your own peril. However, I don't hate the Kenny Galladay pick. I think that was a solid pick, especially since it was your first wide receiver coming off the board. He's going to get number one type targets.
100%.
Matt Stafford goes to Adam. And now he's got Matt Stafford to pair with Patrick Mahomes. That's damn good. I mean, that might be 2 top 5 quarterbacks right there in the league.
Right.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. He's got Deontay Johnson and Amari Cooper at the wide receiver position. Deontay Johnson is a guy that I don't think a lot of people are coming around on enough.
I think he's going to be very studly this year for Pittsburgh.
Studly?
Yes, studly. I've been reading more and more. The more I find out about it, the more I like it. I think he's going to be that guy that gets probably 7 to 8 catches a game this year.
See, here's the thing. I'm looking at the T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett, who's up and down. I love Claypool. You're picking Galladay. All these wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a guy still sitting here that his good's way better than this. And now he belongs to my team.
Odell Beckham Jr.
And there's another guy that, you knew I was going to do this. You knew I was going to do this.
Okay. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Carolossus.
Now that Deshaun
Give
Watson,
me your money, bitches.
now that Deshaun Watson has decided to show up for camp to miss out on the $50,000 a day fines that the Texans can levy against him, there's now more talk of, hey, we're ready. We're ready to trade him. It was Ian
Trade's
Rappaport.
coming this week.
Yeah, Ian Rappaport.
I'm just telling you, I've said this thing with Deshaun Watson the entire time, and nobody wanted to fucking listen to me. And so everybody's running their fantasy drafts and all the Scott Fishbowl drafts, and Deshaun Watson goes in the 14th round. He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. There was never a path he wasn't played.
Yeah.
Never! I don't know why I was the only one that understood this, seemingly, that has any microphone in front of him ever.
Right.
He should not be going behind Tom Brady. He shouldn't be going behind Matthew Stafford. He's better than that. And now you have this uncomfortable bad marriage where mommy and daddy have smacked each other at the dinner table and the kids are uncomfortable, but guess what? You still got you got a hot mom here. Deshaun Watson is the hot mom.
Yeah.
I understand she smacked the shit out of your dad. Somebody's still gonna think she's hot. And it's probably the Philadelphia fucking Eagles.
Which will only rise the tide for the rest of the Eagles. Because right now, as it is, you've got Miles Sanders and nobody else.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe in Jalen Hurts. I had a buddy of mine offer me Jalen Hurts in a draft for a number one draft or for a first round draft pick this year, and I was like, I have zero interest. In fact, I said to him, I have negative interest in Jalen Hurts. Because one, I'm not convinced he's going to be the quarterback, and two, if he is the quarterback, fucking I don't care how many yards he runs for. He's Taysom damn Hill.
Yeah.
He'll be fine as a fantasy football quarterback if he's the starter. Here's the problem. I don't think he's the starter. And I heard Ian Rappaport put the report out this morning of, it would take a lot to get Deshaun Watson. No, it would take exactly what I said yesterday on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Won this year. Philadelphia's won this year. Conditional one in 2023. And we're done.
Yeah.
You might have to give up a player, but I'm telling you, and there's another thing that happened over the weekend that should tell you everything you need to know.
What's that?
Did you see who Philadelphia just signed? Steven Nelson to be the second corner on the opposite side of Darius Slay. We just talked about how that's one of the biggest problems for the Philadelphia Eagles, is that the second corner slot is dog shit. Well, Steven Nelson's not great. He's a marked improvement over what they had. And you know what that tells me? They think they're going to be better than we seem to think they're going to be. Because you're not loading up the defense to play with Jalen fucking Hurts. I'm sorry, you're not. Be bad or be competitive.
Right.
There's one path in being competitive, and his name is Deshaun Watson.
Right after Deshaun Watson goes Raheem Mostert to Michael Whiteside, 49ers fan.
Yes.
And then we had Homer pick number 2. Scott Cutshaw goes with Joe Burrow. He's a Cincinnati Bengals fan. So he's got T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. And then Robert Tonyan goes to Michael Vick. Or Michael Vick. Kevin Vick. Damn, dog. Kevin Vick.
Oh, God.
Kevin Vick takes Robert Tonyan at the 7th round, 4th pick. That's early.
I'm okay
That's really
with it.
early to me.
It's early, but I have him as the next tight end. Who else would you rather have?
In the tight ends?
Yeah. Because here's the thing, he's probably not coming back to you.
Very true. There's a possibility that he couldn't have come back to you. I don't know.
No offense, the only one that's even worth talking about with him.
Robert Tonyan to me is the guy that I don't know that you can expect him to get 11 touchdowns again this year.
No, but I think his volume goes through the roof.
His volume could go through the roof.
Yeah.
But last year, what was keeping that from happening? What was keeping his value, or what was keeping his target share at bay last year?
Yeah.
That's the real question I have. I mean, he was thrown to, like 54 times, and he caught 48 of them. He only, missed 4 passes that were thrown his way. But a lot of them were, really short passes in the red zone. I get he's a big red zone target, but I feel like he's going to have a little competition for that this year. Amari Rodgers is a big dude. So I feel like he might snake some of the red zone targets from Tonyan.
Yeah. I think you worry way too much about Amari Rodgers.
To me, he's the second best receiver on this team. So
First of all, you're drunk as hell, and I knew you were. Amari Rodgers is 5'9".
I thought he was a bigger than
No,
that.
you're talking about the one that went to Kansas City. Oh, shit.
Well, balls.
The one that went to Kansas City.
Yeah, the Clemson had another receiver. Amari Rodgers is like a little gadget guy.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of Powell.
Powell. Yeah, Cornell Powell.
Cornell Powell.
Yeah.
God,
Okay,
I couldn't think of
my
his first
bad.
name for shit.
My bad.
I went with little Booger Anderson as my second wide receiver. I
Okay.
think his numbers are going to be very similar to last year where he did very well.
Did you just call him Booger Anderson?
Yeah, that's his nickname.
When the hell did that become his nickname? He played for my team for years.
Yeah, it's been Booger Anderson.
I mean, I've called him Robbie Bear Anderson before.
Yeah. Hey, is that Bear?
Don't call me Yogi.
What's with that Bear?
Boo-boo.
It's Booger Anderson.
Adam went Ronald Jones, which Adam, hey, sent you a trade offer for Ronald Jones in our Dynasty League. Where you at, bro? Robbie Anderson. Cortland Sutton goes after that to Robert Johnson. Chase Edmonds. God damn, y'all. Yeah, keep talking about Chase Edmonds, and they're going to snake him from you. Chase Edmonds comes off the board 2 picks before me. Then Javonte Williams. Now it is my turn again. I've already got quarterbacks. I don't need quarterbacks. Running backs looking very gross at the moment.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I got 2 of them to start this draft.
Yeah.
Man, that makes me feel good that I got 2 of them to start this shit.
It's looking a little gross, but there is a guy that I'm on draft right now. Damian Harris.
I hate you a lot.
Damian Harris, I feel like that's pretty good value at the 10th pick of the 7th round.
Yep, I put a hex upon your house. Officially, I put a hex upon your house.
Damian Harris to me is the running back that everybody is sleeping on. Mm-hmm. So now I feel damn good about my running backs. And it's time to pick again.
Mm-hmm. A hex upon your house.
What is he going to do, folks? Tank has got 2 wide receivers, 3 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. Does he go with another wide receiver, folks? Does he go with a tight end? Maybe a Noah Fant? Maybe someone along those lines?
It's not going to be a tight end.
It's not going to be a tight end.
I can guarantee you it's not going to be a tight end. And it's not going to be a running back.
It's not going to be a running back.
Maybe
folks.
I should just draft a defense.
Well, I figure maybe you should just go.
Please do that so I can call you a drunk dipshit again.
And he
it's
chooses.
The 8th round. I got to fill out my roster.
Going to double up with Gronkowski, so him and Tom Brady can double up and fire them cannons. By golly, put some more power in them.
I love how you keep saying double up with the 2 of them. There's a butt thing joke there somewhere.
A butt thing.
There's a butt thing joke there
Tom Brady
somewhere.
Having butt lovins.
Spicy butt stuff.
There's a joke here somewhere.
There is.
I don't think it's that hard to find.
All right.
Hey, Tank, can I tell you a little secret?
Yep.
Your team sucks.
Does it suck? Chanel, I like it. There goes Noah Fant. Team 9's finally starting to draft other players.
Yeah.
He's got 10 wide receivers, and now Javonte Williams is number 1 running back.
Hot.
And Noah Fant, he's going with Denver.
See, at least my team's not as bad as the Team 9.
Well, here's the thing. When you set this up, did you put in that there was somebody in this league that's never watched a football game before? Because I think that's Team 9. I don't think they've ever actually watched football, ever.
Or played in a Superflex league.
No. They don't understand. They're going 0 quarterback no matter what, and I'm here for it.
I mean, they have 6 wide receivers when the most you can play is 3. So
and you should never play 3, ever.
Yeah. So I went with Laviska Shenault for my 2nd pick coming back around.
Yeah, I'll throw the board up in just a second. I'm updating our teams here.
Noah Fant obviously goes to Team 9. We've already razzed them about that. Deebo Samuel goes to Jason Trump. And then Ryan Tannehill. See, Robert Johnson's onto something here. He's loaded at running back. His wide receivers you can't say anything against them. Mike Evans, I feel like the hit or miss of Mike Evans last year will probably not be the same this year.
Yeah.
But there is some concern for me. But then you back that up with Robert Woods and Cortland Sutton. To me, Cortland Sutton is the guy to have in Denver. I'm not a huge believer in Jerry Jeudy just yet. Depends on depends on who that quarterback's going to be.
That's the thing.
If it's Teddy Bridgewater, I really like Jerry Jeudy. He's a great route runner. Teddy Bridgewater is a better thrower of the football when it comes to accuracy and timing, which pairs up great with a great route runner. But Cortland Sutton is just, I still believe he is a dude. And then you got Ryan Tannehill, a guy who we have said numerous times. You look at the efficiency that since he has taken over as the quarterback there, and his numbers are on par with every top quarterback in the league. And I don't think much is going to change with that. You could still pound the ball with Derrick Henry, and now you gave him Julio Jones to pair with A.J. Brown. And there's also talk about there's a lot of hype on Anthony Ferkser right now.
Stop it.
I'm not much of a believer in Anthony Ferkser, but
And I think
there is
Ryan Tannehill's path to being a top 10 quarterback this year is not surprising.
No.
He could easily be top 10. I took Michael Carter to be my fourth running back. There's an upside on there, too. Again, I'm picking my other – I went with choosing my other two running backs other than my starters on possible upside because I don't necessarily need to start them right off the bat, and I'm looking towards the end of the season. Darrell Henderson might have been a little bit high. I still believe he's going to be all right. I like Michael Carter because I think he's going to be more towards the end of a year guy that I could have.
Yeah.
And I like where I'm going with that.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I have to say this because Michael Carter is a creation of my own.
Yeah.
And now I have to do what not every parent, but what some parents have to do with their children. You have to look at them and go, probably not going to be a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Not saying he's going to have a job with his name on his shirt. I'm just saying, I have overhyped Michael Carter, and now everybody's bought into it, and now he's going entirely too high.
Right. Well, if you're leaning on Michael Carter to be one of your top two running backs, it's not a great strategy.
I think if you're leaning on him,
you're not doing that.
Yeah.
I think if he's one of your top four, you're doing it wrong.
Wow.
Because he may not be the running back to have with the Jets all year long.
Right.
If he is, it's not going to be the second half of the season. And I understand the merit of doing it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just looking at.
Yeah.
I guess I'm looking at what's still out there going, I don't know that I would have done that.
You want to take more of a sure thing, is what you're saying.
It's not even so much a sure thing. It's just there's guys up here that I still feel reasonably good about. But I'm going to be honest with you. This is also the reason that I've got two running backs. I'm going to have to take another one reasonably soon. It probably ain't going to be right now.
Well, you're getting pretty damn thin.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to throw the warning out there for you that your third running back could very well end up being A.J. Dillon. You'd be okay with that? I mean, you do have two hammers to start out with.
I do.
So,
and I'm only going to play two. I'm only going to play two running backs. Basically, barring injury, I have no fear. So, here's it's a long time till I pick again.
yeah.
Well, you get two picks.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this going, I have to make sure my team is set up for success.
Yes.
I have routinely told you that, quarterback-wise, I'm fine. I'm fine with some combination of Deshaun Watson and high upside flyers late. So I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
It's Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking him right now to make sure that I get him. And then this is a guy that, do I really want to do this? No.
I don't feel like that's a great start when
Yeah.
you're going to draft a guy. Do I really want to do this?
Well, here's the thing. We're in the 9th round. This guy should not be on the board. He's too damn good to still be on the board.
Brandon Cooks.
It's Brandon Cooks. He's too good to still be on the board. I mean, in the receivers in the round before, you've got you got two rookies, 2 second-year guys, and 2 guys that I just know what the ceiling on them is.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks spent time last year being the #1 wide receiver in fantasy football.
Yeah.
He had a 4-week stretch where he was the best receiver in fantasy football.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the high upside flyer. Now I've got, Fields is not going to be a starter for me. I have another plan for that. But he's a guy that if I'm right and he winds up as the starter in Chicago, you're in trouble.
Right.
Because I have Deshaun Watson, who's going to play 17 games barring injury, and Justin Fields on the backside gives me 2 of probably the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Deshaun Watson going to play 17 games?
100%.
You don't think there's any sort of path to him being suspended at all?
Not one shot.
Okay.
I've talked about it on the show 100 times. The players' union would lose their damn mind now that he's shown up if they suspended him with no pending legal action.
Right.
And there's no interest in. There's a reason all of these things are coming up now.
Is it just 22 cases that are open in a civil matter?
Yeah.
It's not. None of them are criminal.
Yeah, and civil litigation is something that the players' union won't let be used against you.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a pending criminal thing, it would be different.
Yeah, it would be a
There's
different
not,
story.
and everything I've been told is that's not coming.
Yeah.
So he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Now I take the flyer on Justin Fields, who I think will be a better fantasy quarterback than he will be real life quarterback.
Yeah.
And I have a plan.
Here's a plan
for until he becomes the starter.
Jalen Hurts has come off the board. Jalen Hurts goes to Michael Whiteside as his second quarterback.
And he's just really hoping that Deshaun Watson does not get traded to Philadelphia.
And there's something to that. I mean, there is something to the theory that every other team is going to look at Deshaun Watson and go, I don't want a piece of that.
Yeah.
I think it's a little misguided, but if Jalen Hurts is the starter there, then you're going to have some fantasy value. I mean, looking at the rest of the quarterbacks that were here to be chosen, I mean, there's one that, well, there's a couple. There's actually a couple.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But if you think the ceiling can be high on Jalen Hurts and you believe he's just a winner, then, go for it. There was nothing that I saw from Jalen Hurts last year that went, yes, that's it. Everybody points to that 1 week, what was it, week 14 last year, when he just balled out. I think they were playing the Lions or something. It was a god-awful team.
Yeah.
But he had 3 touchdowns, threw for 300 yards, and ran for some more. Do you think that's sustainable? You think he could do that every week?
Yeah.
No, I don't even think he gets close to that, because the other games that he played in, he was not good at all. Scott Cutshall goes to Curtis Samuel at 9.3. I think that's great value.
I do too.
I think Curtis Samuel, look, Jeremy can talk all the smack he wants to about how Ron Rivera used Curtis Samuel.
It's not smack, it's fact.
I get it in Carolina, but I also feel like Curtis Samuel came on last year and maybe he's figured something out. Now he can be a better piece in that offense.
And the question will be, why did he come on? Because it was no longer Scott Turner that was calling plays for him.
Yeah.
And now you're going to give him right back to the same guy that misused him for 2 years. I'm not saying he's going to be dog shit. I'm just saying, and where Scott just drafted him, totally fine.
Yes.
I've seen him go 2 rounds ahead of that. And I think that's an absolute reach. Right here, what do you take him at 9-3?
Yeah.
3rd pick in the 9th round?
Yep.
I'm fine with that. Because if I'm wrong and he hits what he did last year, even and then some, being the clear number 2 without a number 3, then he could be the best wide receiver that's been taken in 2 rounds.
Right. I'm hoping for a guy to still last. I'm hoping that Adam does not take him.
I got news for you. If you say him out loud, he's
Don't drop
probably
any
gonna
hits, because Adam will snake you.
And he 100% just took the guy that I wanted. Without saying his name, I wanted to get Michael Pittman. I was so fucking pissed off.
Let me tell you, as somebody that's drafted with Adam Harris a whole bunch of times, he's real good for that.
Damn it.
It's like, if there are 3 people on planet Earth that are at least in our circle of mock drafts. Adam Harris is one. Zach Hurst, who did the draft with us, is another.
Yep.
And I'm the 3rd. And if you do a draft with all 3 of us, by the end of it, you're either going to be drunk or ready to kill one.
If you get into a draft with guys like that, you're staring at the board and you're several picks away and you're looking at it, you're going, oh my God, how is that guy there? They're going to take him.
That's exactly.
It's going to be gone before you get to it. I mean, smart fantasy players are just that. They know the trends and they're generally 1 to 2 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating because now I don't know that I see. He was the last
need that you needed.
No,
the last need.
He was the last I looked at as a definite number 1 wide receiver that I wanted to take as my 3rd wide receiver. Now I'm in this land of a bunch of guys that could be number 1s if things played out right. So. You know what? I'm going to take Corey Davis.
Okay. Corey Davis of the New York Jets. He's your new Zach Wilson's new little toy.
Yep.
Mr. Jet fan, how do you feel about that?
I mean, we're right here where you're picking. I can't hate on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's his ceiling?
what he did last year.
Which was good.
That's the best he could
1,000 yards, 80 receptions, something like that.
Which was not bad.
Hope that the touchdowns come. My fear is that he's going to be getting. Here's the thing with Corey Davis, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. I think Elijah Moore is the number one wide receiver on this team.
Okay.
Problem is that means he's going to get number one coverage as a rookie. If you tell me Corey Davis doesn't get coverage shaded over to him because everybody's scared of Elijah Moore, which I think they're gonna, then you could very easily see him with higher targets than he had last year. Lesser quarterback, maybe behind more often. So I could say he's a dart throw.
Yeah.
And that's right here, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't look at Corey Davis is probably safer than Curtis Samuel. I don't think he has the high upside of Pittman or Cooks. I mean, yeah, that's about the place that you take him.
Yeah.
And I think it could pay off for you. He's going to be a consistent piece of your offense.
And I'm hoping they use his height down in the red zone. I mean, he's 6'4", right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'll tell you, every other Jets receiver did a little feller.
Yeah. So
except Denzel Mims, who he breaks every time the wind blows real hard.
Yeah. So and is Denzel Mims even going to make the team? Because
he'll make the team. I have no fear he'll make the team. Now, what he'll do when he does it, that's a hell of a question.
So Team 9 starting running backs are Javonte Williams and Leonard Fournette.
Good for them. They're just killing the game here.
They're killing it.
Yeah, when we do these from now on, we're going to need actual people in these spots.
Because that's not at all how any team would be drafted with actual people.
Nope.
In a super flex league. They damn sure would have taken a quarterback by now. Now it's my turn. And I'm going to go with a wide receiver. And I'm going to go with Marquise Brown. I think there's some upside to
There
Marquise
certainly
Brown
is.
this year because of the weapons that are around him now. I mean, he was the only game in town for Baltimore.
Yeah.
And he still had a pretty damn good year last year. But now with Sammy Watkins in the fold, I think it changes a lot. Rashad Bateman also is, who I noticed was right here in the same ADP area with Marquise Brown. I think he's being overblown a little bit. Am I wrong to think that Rashad Bateman's being overblown?
I believe you are. Because I don't think he's being overblown. I think Marquise Brown's going to be the deep threat on this team. Think Robbie Anderson when he was with the Jets. That's what he'll be. He's going to have huge games.
Yes.
I like Marquise Brown this year better for best ball than I do anywhere else. But I don't hate him. I think where you got him is fine. Looking at your team, my fear is still. I mean, your running backs are good. It's everything else that I look at and go, well, you know.
What? Please tell me what is wrong with my quarterbacks. I have Josh Allen, who's probably going to be the MVP, and I got Tom Brady, who had his best year last year.
You have Josh Allen and literally the most injury-prone roster I've ever seen in my life. Your roster is one fucking influenza outbreak away from being dead. Like, you might not have 5 living players by the time the season starts. That's my fear with your team.
Yeah.
You could have the first team to ever catch hamstring pulls. I've never seen that before. That's a no.
I'm going to disagree for the square. I mean, who? Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders, Saquon Barkley, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, and 407-year-old Tom Brady. Do you just have a sponsorship deal worked out with Medevac or AARP? What was it? Wilford Brimley used to. What was that?
Liberty
Medical.
Liberty Medical.
Liberty Medical helps me control my diabetes.
Sorry. I look at Tom Brady and look at the year that he had last year, and then after we found out that he played on a torn MCL.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
What?
Yeah, Brian, it's what you've been missing.
Explain it.
He did not have a torn MCL the entire year.
Okay, so
It's actually entirely possible.
they're
the
lying
MCL is
now.
the one that would hurt
Well,
you the
I
least if
know,
you don't
but
run.
it's so blown.
It's not. It's not overblown.
Yeah, whatever. It is whatever.
He's even showed up to camp now not practicing with the knee brace.
So I decided to go with Elijah Moore after Corey Davis and lock up the fact that I now have the 2 Jets running wide receivers.
That's pouring a lot of hope into Zach Wilson.
I did. It's fine with me because I believe one or the other is going to be fine.
Okay. That's an interesting take.
One or the other.
One or the other will be fine. That's an interesting take.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not hating on it.
No, I like it.
I mean, I'm not going to do it, but
And I can look at it each week, barring matchups, and see how things go and see where we're at.
Yep.
You know, if they're playing a team that I believe they're going to get blown out by, I'm going to go with the Corey Davis because he's going to get some garbage time.
Damn it, Jason Trump! Damn it!
You're damn right, Jason Trump. I saw that and I went, oh. Did you see the tweet? Did you see the little video of him throwing at UCLA to the? What do they call that little thing? What do they call
the jugs machine?
Oh, the jugs machine. That's right. The jugs machine. Him throwing it into the jugs machine, and the jugs machine throws it back.
Never has anything ever been like faked ever.
Oh no, I'd say he probably did it.
I know he did it. I'm just trying.
I just would like to know how many takes it took.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Because I'll bet you it's a bunch.
I'll bet you it's a bunch.
I'll bet you it's a bunch of them.
I'm not. I swear
don't
to
care
God.
just being able to do that out of
I've never wished injury or anything on anybody. I hope
Except for Tom Brady.
entire fucking Tampa Bay team gets injured this year. I swear to God, I hope every old bastard that they have fucking. I hope Antonio Brown has a fucking Antonio Brown fit. I hope Gronkowski breaks like he usually does. I hope Tom Brady goes out. I hope fucking the Ndamukong Suh just goes out of it a limb. I hope they all die. It would be great. And I've never wished injury upon everybody because I don't know if I could go through another year listening to this vitriol come out of his mouth.
What vitriol?
Oh my God.
Vitriol.
Jeremy, help me out here.
You used the
Do you
word
know what
vitriol
vitriol
wrong.
means?
No.
Yeah, you used it
Vitriol
backwards.
means
You
hatred.
need the anonym for vitriol.
Listen,
vitriol is what we have
I'm
for
not a
Tank
very
right now.
smart man.
Vitriol is what you have
Yeah.
to the fact that my team won a Super Bowl.
And my team is so far away from winning the Super Bowl.
And when I say, hey, Tom Brady had the best year of his life last year, oh, guess what? He's still got all his weapons back.
Just that,
plus, he had a torn MCL. Plus, he's not practicing with a damn knee brace.
It's just
what
every
is
day,
not to like about
every
that?
single day. Every day. I've been
All
gone
day.
for a week and a half. Thought maybe it would have subsided. No, I come back and here we are again.
All day. Day.
All day. All day.
Yep.
Anyway,
what's going on in the draft? We got a mock draft going on here as we are down to the 10th round of the
Funk
draft.
was taken. A running back named Funk.
Oh, Jake Funk.
Jake Funk.
Jake Funk, he's going to be vulturing touches from your Darrell Henderson pick that you made 18 rounds ago.
Oh, God, it was such a great pick, though. You don't understand.
In the 5th round?
Yeah.
Massive overpay.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Massive.
Yep. My team is way better than your team, Tank.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh,
fully.
you are out of your damn mind.
No, I disagree fully.
All right.
I always love when we do these that I know
my
the two of them
receivers
are going
are
to
better.
argue about which one of them finished second more than they argue about
Come
anything else.
on. Of course, because there's no possible way that Jeremy's team is not the best draft.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Because I've got Justin Fields and Trey Lance and a quarterback who may not even start this year.
There's no shot he doesn't start this year. There's no shot of that. Fact or fiction, Trey Lance and Justin Fields will be top 12 quarterbacks if they play. Fact or fiction?
Fiction on Lance.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
He's the best runner in the draft. Jalen Hurts was the number 9 quarterback in fantasy football last year, and he can't throw. Yeah, Trey Lance, this is 100% a strategy that I will use in Superflex.
Okay.
Now, I will say Kevin Vick fucked me on Kirk Cousins because what I was planning on doing was going Kirk Cousins and Trey Lance. And you sumbitch, you just slipped it right to me, and I wasn't even paying attention because these two were arguing about which team finished second. Just throw it in the comments. You did it last time. Just throw some respect.
This
on
is
my
not
name.
possible that any other team, even Kevin Vick's team or any other team, is better than Jeremy's.
No. I meant of the three of us.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't even looked at the other teams.
Yeah.
I've been updating yours so I can have a graphic to do at the end of this.
Yeah.
I am skull raping both of you.
Okay.
I mean, just.
Yeah.
God, I almost said something so fucked up. I'm so glad I didn't. Yeah, I almost said something horrible, and I'm really glad I didn't.
I don't know. I look at what's going on here now. We got, Sam Darnold goes up. Cutshaw is just dropping Panthers right before Kevin Vick several times. Like he's taken, former, Samuel Darnold, who we took earlier. I thought there was somebody else. Oh, I'm wrong. I thought he would take, there was more than that, but, hey, whatever. Okay. And now,
the Will Fuller pick. Bravo, Kevin. Bravo. I get he's going to be suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season, but by then they'll have a quarterback situation figured out. Either Tua's going to be good or they're going to be having Jacoby Brissett throw to him by that point. And I like Will Fuller.
We have breaking news.
Breaking news?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Texas and Oklahoma officially have formed the Big 12. They'll be leaving. They didn't say to the SEC. Just remember I said that.
Oh, you think they're going to
Just remember I said that. A little birdie told me something over the weekend that. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
They
said they're not renewing their grant of rights deal with Big 12. They never said they were going to the SEC. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
There will be a bidding war for their services if they're available.
100% there will. 100% there will. And the SEC does not need them as much as everybody else does.
No doubt.
And there are a slew of other teams that would kind of like to form a super conference against the SEC. Mm-hmm. And one of them just so happens to be the team that I pull for. We'll fix it in post.
Tyler Boyd comes off after Will Fuller. I like that pick as well. Tyler Boyd, he's the guy that's being forgotten in that Cincinnati offense. Everybody's crazy about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins right now. Tyler Boyd, to me, is the steadiest option between the two of them.
There's certainly, I like the value there. Mm-hmm. You got to think you're taking Will Boyd, Will Boyd, I kind of combined them into one person. Tyler Boyd one spot behind Will Fuller, and definitively Will Fuller's not going to play the first 6 weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. And I think there's merit to both picks. You're going to get a better, you'll get more points for the year out of Tyler Boyd. I would say per game Will Fuller will be better. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Big B Haynes is on the board.
Yeah, I'm going to take a guy that I think is going to be better than most people believe this year.
Okay.
And it's McCole Hardman. I think in Kansas City, I think you're going to see his touches per game go up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I think he's kind of proven, and he gets forgotten a little bit in these drafts. I'm picking a lot on upside. I know but I like him a lot this year. And I'm really hoping to see a big year out of him. Not only this, because he's on my dynasty team, and he probably is my best player on my entire team.
Right.
That's how bad my team is.
The thing that scares me about McCole Hardman, we talked about this a little bit last week, was that he didn't play a whole lot last year. He only had like 44% of the offensive snaps on the field. Mm-hmm. That's obviously because Sammy Watkins was still in town. Yeah. Now, with Sammy Watkins gone to Baltimore, McCole Hardman's usage should go up. He catches damn near every ball thrown his way. Yeah. And he is a burner, just like Tyreek Hill. To me, I think they have the opportunity to stretch the field better than they did last year.
And it's just
is saying something.
It's just so hard for me to look at a team like the Chiefs, and where most coverage is going to be put towards the Hill, towards Kelce, and I just believe that is going to leave McCole Hardman open a lot more. I think that you're going to fear him more than you would have feared Sammy Watkins on a deep ball, and it's going to be really hard. I think one-on-one on single coverage, you're going to see him touch, so he could have 4 or 5 big, huge 50-yard touchdown passes this year.
It is now my turn again.
Hold on, before you do your, we had something new. Daniel Calderon said he's panicking with the Cam Akers injury. I'm avoiding the Rams' backfield entirely. Completely. Darrell Henderson, it would be one thing if he was going in the 7th round.
Until they make a signing or a trade. Until they make a signing
and I don't think they're going to. I think they're okay with Raymond Calais. If you remember, I liked him coming in the draft.
Sure.
And I wasn't the only one. I was kind of shocked he lasted as long as he did. I don't think they're going to add a guy.
Yeah.
And secret time, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I think Darrell Henderson can do what Cam Akers was needed to do.
Yeah.
And now, granted, I think you're going to have somebody between the tackles. He'll have to, whatever the case may be.
So, have you been having a fight or a words with Jay Murder on here?
Yeah.
Lately,
it's a Bengals fan.
He's a Bengals fan.
I'm telling you, I'm beloved in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I'll take your over/under win total for anything you want.
He's saying
6.5, the last I looked.
He said Bengals win more than 4.
And you may very well be right.
Yeah.
You ain't winning 7.
Yeah.
You could very well be right.
Yeah.
I got news for you. I looked this up just because I caught a lot of shit from Bengals fans over the weekend.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. I want to see if the two of you, one of you who works for ESPN, the other who's been with us for quite some time.
Yeah.
Name me the last coach not named Marvin Lewis that had a winning season in Cincinnati.
It would probably be like Boomer Esiason years.
Sam Weish.
Sam Weiss is right. It was 1990.
Yeah.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am having a hard time finding Cincinnati winning 6 games.
And he said, I said, no way in hell they win more than 4. I agree with that. I'm also a gambler, and I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they beat Pittsburgh last year. I got to hear that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
You feel great about betting that again? Because I don't.
Yeah.
6.5, I'll take it. That's their win. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep. They're at the back end of the draft, 11th and 12th rounds. I went with a pair of New Orleans Saints. Adam Troutman's my tight end. If I'm waiting late in the draft, I'm going to take a guy who I think there's a lot of upside to and a guy who could be used a lot this year. The weapons for New Orleans are not good, especially with the news that Michael Thomas is going to be out. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback between Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. I think it should be Jameis Winston, but with Michael Thomas out, it kind of makes me think maybe they'll just go with Taysom and try to do something funky.
Yeah.
Keep the ball on the ground a lot, run this weird kind of offense. To me, it's going to give a lot of value to Latavius Murray. It's going to give a lot of value to Adam Troutman.
We have a board that I probably should be showing, shouldn't I? Man, it's fun when I go on tangents that I forget I'm pushing the damn button.
It's
that's
all
fine.
good. Yeah.
We like the visuals, but to me, I'm happy with that being my tight end. And then if Adam Troutman doesn't end up being shit, I will play the waiver wire all year long.
And I got Evan Ingram, and it may be a little bit of a homer pick, but the weapons in New York are getting better. They can't guard everybody.
He's one of those, though. He's just like his quarterback.
Yeah.
You need him to take a turn for the better, and I just don't know that it's coming.
He just needs to he needs to be able to catch the ball. I mean, he's proven he can get open. He's proven that he can be a big tight end in this league. He just needs to be able to hold on to the damn ball.
Right.
I'm hoping that somebody did some work with him over the offseason. After last year, we all saw it. It was like he lost 2 ball games for the Giants. 2 ball games he absolutely lost for the Giants. And I think that they went into this offseason and basically said, son, we need to work on your hands, and we're going to be doing that.
Right.
And I get him in the 12th round. I'm not upset that I get a possible top 10 tight end in the 12th round.
It's not bad value.
You know what I mean?
It's not bad value at all. Tony Pollard comes off to Adam right after that. I love that pick. I think there's there's a possibility there that he could be one of the best running backs in fantasy football. If Ezekiel Elliott goes down, he's going to get a lot of the workload.
Absolutely.
I don't think Dallas looks at it and goes, we missed much of a step with Tony Pollard.
Yep.
Because he can do all of the things that Ezekiel can do. He can catch balls out of the backfield. He can run between the tackles. I'm a big believer.
And Scott Cutshall has been hearing the same stuff that you've heard
about Anthony Ferguson. There's a lot of hype about Anthony Ferguson, and then maybe there's going to be some open spots in the tight end game for the Tennessee Titans this year because they have legitimate weapons on the outside now. I mean, they had one legitimate weapon last year in A.J. Brown, don't get me wrong, but with Julio Jones there, that can free up things a lot in the middle of the field.
Oh, Yeah, this went exactly how I wanted it.
Yeah, of course it did.
I love it when a plan comes together.
T.Y. Hilton goes right before Jeremy to Michael Whiteside, and then he goes Derek Carr.
Wait for it.
And Alexander Madison.
And the handcuff.
There
that
you
went
go.
Exactly how I wanted it to
That's
go.
beautiful. I had considered taking Alexander Madison before Latavius Murray, but I feel like Latavius Murray has a better ability to score for me if his running back doesn't go down.
Right.
If he does, however, I like Latavius Murray a lot. Now, Jeremy, with you have Dalvin Cook, so Alexander Madison, to me, late in the draft,
I almost took him
becomes a
2 rounds
necessity.
ago. I thought about it for an extended period of time.
Yeah, he becomes a necessity, just in case. Just like I feel if you have Zeke, you need to pair him with Pollard.
Absolutely.
Zach Wilson goes to Michael Whiteside after Alexander Madison went to Jeremy.
By the way, a question that we got from Justin Parton on this video was, what do you do when you're... The reason that I did this draft this way is because I wanted to answer this question. A lot of people say they can't deal with not taking a quarterback. You know, I see the run start and I can't help it. I want you to look at this board and realize that I took the number 1 player on my board in every round. Wound up with 2 running backs, 3 receivers, and a tight end. At quarterback, I go into the season with Deshaun Watson and Derek Carr as my starters. I'm fine with that, by the way. They were 2 top 13 quarterbacks in fantasy football last year. With the high upside guys of Justin Fields and Trey Lance on the bench. If one of them winds up as the starter in the last 6 weeks, now I have a fun predicament and I also have a hell of a trade chip. And in terms of running backs, when am I ever going to play anybody that's not Dalvin Cook? So long as Dalvin Cook's healthy, when am I ever going to not play anybody else?
Right.
And guess what? If he's not healthy, who gets the workload?
Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison. So I got that Minnesota run game locked down, which I think is going to be one of the best in the league. Najee Harris is the bell cow in Pittsburgh. I don't even think there is I don't even really think there's a handcuff there. If there is, it's Benny Snell. That's the only 2 running backs I'm ever going to play.
Yeah.
Ever. So I took 2 and I was done with it. It works, and I guess what I'm trying to say here is the principle that, you know, my Travis Kelce, no matter what theory, that works with other positions too.
Yeah.
Because the theory with Kelce, the reason I want to take him in the first round is because now I don't ever have to use waiver priority on him again. I don't ever have to think about tight end again. I'm going to play 1, and it's smushed.
Yep.
Running back's that way here. Barring an injury, and I got news for you, if one of your first 2-round picks get hurt, you're pretty well fucked anyway.
Yeah. And
I have as much protection on it as you could possibly ever have with anybody.
Right. I think
So that's Parton asked, what would you do if you were the last one to wind up with a quarterback? To my knowledge, other than the computer teams that are all drunk, and they don't count, I was the last one to end up with a quarterback. And I'm going to be honest, look across the league. How many quarterback rooms do you feel better about than mine? I mean, Tank took 2 markedly higher than I did.
Yep.
I would say Jason Trump's pretty close with Kyler Murray and Carson Wentz. And then look what I did with Derek Carr. Look at the board. Look what I did.
Yeah.
I started the run. Because Derek Carr was the guy that everybody was. And you can comment, the ones that are in this, you can comment in the comments if that's what you were after.
Yeah.
I think I started the run because everybody was trying to wait on Derek Carr.
That was 100% where I was trying to go to.
I've been setting the Derek Carr thing up forever, just waiting on somebody to do it. When I saw Darnold, Mayfield, and Wentz go, I knew if anybody had the same theory as me, they probably had Wentz slightly ahead of Derek Carr, and they thought he was going to be, he'll be the one that slides. Okay, my next pick, he has to come to me.
Yeah.
So I did that, and now I'm sitting back going, yeah.
Well, Jason Trump did something that I was going to do. Devontae Parker lasted way too long.
Yep.
For some reason.
It's very hard to do drafts for people that you talk to every day.
For some reason, there was a lot of fading on Devontae Parker. I don't understand that. To me, that could end up being the value pick of the draft. In the 13th round, you got a guy who might end up being, I'm going to say top 15 wide receiver. Easy.
Hey, it's not easy.
It is
path
No,
to that.
I'm saying best case scenario, Tua's got it. Devontae Parker's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like Jalen Waddle.
I have a hard time feeling that he's going to come in and be immediately the big dick in the locker room as a rookie.
We also got to remember Will Fuller. He's the big
understand.
dick in the locker room for 6 weeks.
Yep.
That I will agree to.
And Team 9 just took Todd Gurley, who's not even in the league. So that's awesome.
Well, he's going to have a role somewhere.
Yeah, he's going to be on. He will be on a team somewhere. You mark my words.
Do you find it interesting that there hasn't been any kind of speculation of him going back to LA at all?
There's been a lot of speculation, just not from LA.
The word
that's what I was.
The word out of that front office is that was a non-starter.
Yeah.
They were never going to go down that path, and I honestly don't blame them for that.
I just felt like, someone who understands the offense is someone, you know what I mean? That's.
I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna. Just because, why not? I'm gonna take the other aging quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, in the 13th round. To me, is dumb.
It's certainly late.
You forced me into it. You forced me into it because if he is in the best shape of his life, and I've seen the pictures, he does look slimmer than he was. There's a path to him being really damn good. He's still got all of the receivers. He's still got Juju Smith-Schuster and Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. It's going to be a lot of throwing the ball. Yes, they're going to run the ball a lot, but this is going to be a very balanced offensive attack, in my opinion.
If Ben can stay somewhat healthy, he's going to be a good quarterback this year for it. The problem is because he's been asked to do so much, and I think last year a lot of that had to do with how bad the running game was. I think Najee Harris will help out. If he can stay somewhat healthy, he's still a quarterback that can give you 3-4 touchdowns a game sometimes. That's just how he plays. And it's not like they're going to run the ball more. They're still going to throw the ball 30 times a game. That's what Pittsburgh does. They changed from being a running team to a throwing team a lot longer ago, and people just forget that. I'm sorry, they haven't been a running team for a very long time, and he's a good possible. I don't mind your pick. Now what do you do?
That's the question. Now the question is, what do you do from here?
And someone just took your Tampa Bay defense right in front of you.
That was never going to happen. I'm not sold on taking defenses, and I will be happy to wait around to be the last one to take a defense.
I don't know. We were picking 16 players. I don't think that I'm even picking a defense.
If it makes me, I will.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it doesn't.
It probably won't.
I think we did this last time. It did not make us.
Right. But I will take one in the last round just because.
Yeah, we probably should all take one because the graphic does have a defense in it.
Right, because I will get probably like the Cleveland Browns or something. I'm completely fine with that. You know what? I'm going upside here because he's not going to be with his team right now, and I'm kind of thin at tight end anyway. So
Jason Trump just said Tank's starting quarterback average age is 41 years old.
Yeah, pretty much. I got Josh Allen. He's the youth movement, and I got Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger. To me, there's very little risk there. They're both steady. I don't project injuries too much. I know Ben Roethlisberger, his arm fell off at the end of the year last year, as we like to say. But it's still going to be a steady thing that if something does end up happening to Tom Brady, I'm not going to feel horrible starting Ben Roethlisberger in my Superflex spot.
You took Zach Ertz.
I did take Zach Ertz. He's going to end up somewhere, and he's better than every time.
You know where I've heard he's going to end up?
Where?
Philadelphia.
Well, if they get Deshaun Watson, hell yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it could be in Philadelphia, which is weird. That's the definition of a bad marriage, where she hits you with a potted plant and you just came back with, okay, honey, you're right, I was wrong.
There's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of that goes on in this world. To me, Zach Ertz, the upside is better than, say, who Brian just took, Johnny Smith.
Janu.
I feel like, he's in tight end. They're going to do 2 tight ends in New England. I have Evan Ingram. I'd like to have a second tight end. Who knows? He could have a big year.
Yep.
And it's not that bad. I wanted to have a second tight end. Feel like the upside for him, other than these other guys, I do like Tyler Higbee in Los Angeles this year, especially with the running back going down. I think that helped him out a little bit more, actually. And we'll just see what happens.
Let's see. Washington football team, Jamal Williams.
I like the Jamal Williams pick for Jason Trump.
Damn it.
That's huge at round 14 because I think he's going to see a lot of goal line work in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And if DeAndre Swift, who has a history of getting hurt, he's going to be the number one option. There has already been talk out of Detroit camp that they see Jamal Williams as a 3-down back.
Right.
And they're happy with him. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, they paid him. They're going to use him.
Yeah.
You don't sign the guy. What did he get? $5 million a year? Was that the contract Jamal Williams signed? $5 million a year?
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. I use this example for Gus Edwards a lot.
yeah,
Gus Edwards got paid. He got $5 million a year from the Baltimore Ravens for something. They're going to use him. He's still going to get his touches. Well, J.K. Dobbins obviously is the guy to have there. But you should probably throw a bone Gus Edwards' way.
Well,
and Jeremy knows it. He took him in the 11th round.
Yeah, Gus Edwards is one of those guys that is fantasy relevant, but he's as an actual football player, he's great. I mean, what do we have? They had him ranked in the top, 10, Jeremy, in Pro Football Focus at running back? Gus Edwards? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that, as an actual football player, is needed on the field. Mm-hmm. He does have fantasy upside sometimes, especially if J.K. gets hurt. But even with J.K. on the field, Gus Edwards has gotten 10 to 15 carries a game, who's turned that into, maybe have a 10 for 75 and a touchdown.
Right.
He's done that. And a couple of years ago, the end of the season, he basically, won a lot of people some fantasy championships because he was going for 100 yards every single game.
Right. Austin Hooper, Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard, Russell Gage, the last 4 picks. I like the Russell Gage pick.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's the number 2. He's the number 2 wide receiver, I will say, now in Atlanta. However, Kyle Pitts is going to get a lot of outside work.
And I like Jeremy just gets Tyler Higbee as a second tight end. We talked about how I kind of like him. His upside gets higher without the running back, and
without Gerald Everett.
Yeah, and he's had games where what was it, 2 years ago at the end of the season, he had more. He was the number 1 tight end on the board, and it was like the best wide receiver tight end in the league.
Right.
He had 10 catches for 100 yards, I think, 3 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm. The other one is if Deshaun Watson ends up with the Philadelphia Eagles, I love me some Jalen Reagor.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say anything good about Jalen Reagor.
Well, here's the thing. He was hurt last year, and he had no quarterback.
Yeah.
I have no issue. The tape on Jalen Reagor looks good. Mm-hmm. Problem is, currently, they don't have a quarterback on that roster that can get him the ball.
Yeah.
Deshaun changes that.
Yeah.
So I'm my roster is very dependent on, I really need to be right about Deshaun ending up in Philly.
Yes.
And if I am, then good luck.
Home run.
Home run, 100%.
Yeah. If you're right about it, home run. There's just the chance that you might not be wrong.
Yeah, there's a chance that I'm not. But see, here's the thing. All right, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I don't see an outcome where Deshaun Watson's not either the starting quarterback of the Houston Texans or the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. They might disagree with that. I think the Dolphins thing's overblown. They're not going to blow it up with Tua. You make yourself look stupid doing that.
Right.
Is Houston just?
You remember I took Brandon Cooks, right?
I do.
So I have every range of outcome that I can see humanly possible. And I have them paired up, and it's all dependent on one guy moving. It's not a lot of moving pieces. I have one piece that has to move. And really, to me, no matter where he winds up, I'm good.
Is there any way he stays at Houston?
Yes.
Yeah, because
it's not likely, but it's possible.
There's a lot of people out there. I mean, what they could get in return and what they have right now, there's a lot of people saying that it would be silly for Houston to actually get rid of him.
They're wrong. Those people are drunk. They need to go home.
I mean, I think you just need to get them out of the building.
Well, according to what Rappaport put out this morning, that they're going to be looking for 3 first-round draft picks out of him.
And it's not going to happen.
Yeah. They'll get a conditional from Philadelphia. Or they'll get this year's one from Philadelphia and a conditional, and that conditional turns into 1. That's the best you can expect.
So that would be
the fact that they came out and said we're looking for 3 ones tells me this is going to get done really, really, really fast.
Right.
They did not think he was going to show up. He did to force their hand. Now he's forced it, and it ain't going to take that long.
Right.
Since Tyler Higbee, Tariq Cohen goes to Michael Whiteside. Cutshaw gets Traquan Smith, who, again, if Jameis Winston is the guy there, that could be a sneaky good pick in the 15th round. The Rams, Pat Freiermuth. The Steelers,
I picked the
Terrace
Steelers.
Marshall.
If we're gonna pick one, I think not a bad position to pick him right there. I don't think that. I think Pittsburgh, obviously, defense is still really good. Mm-hmm. I might have thought about picking the 49ers.
What was that?
I might have thought about picking the 49ers defense, but, I bumped them.
I don't want to do that. I was thinking about a running back there, but there's just really nothing worth
It's
having.
a poop sandwich.
Yeah, there's really nothing worth having there.
Oh, my God. Why is this even on here?
Ooh, there you go. That's my boyfriend, A.J. Greene.
You love
I
it.
thought about taking him in the last round.
A.J. Greene.
There's one slight against the sleeper app that I just need to point out here, that they have Tim Tebow on here.
Yeah, ahead of like a series of tight ends that are way better than him.
So things went from bad to worse.
He was the last need that they needed.
See, and here you go. Wait till the last round. Pick the best defense that's available. I got my choice between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns.
Where's that?
And I'm going to go with the Browns. Fuck it. I'm all in on the Browns.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Baltimore Ravens are out there for whoever wants to take one. But just it kind of reiterates my point. You do not feel the need to draft a defense early.
Don't do it.
The differences between the defenses are negligible at best. Jared Goff in the 16th round to Jason Trump.
Jason Trump won this little exercise, I do believe.
There's a lot of upside to that.
Let me see here.
I would tend to agree with you, sir.
Yeah, he won this little exercise.
I'm going to take John Brown because I think he's got some upside over in Las Vegas. And I want to look at Travis Kelce, Kyler Murray, DJ. I don't love the Chris Carson, James Robinson, but I don't hate it. Team's pretty good.
The Chris Carson, James.
Back to back.
For Trump's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
John Brown's just one of those that I can't get on board with this year.
And I don't understand that. You were on board with him last year. I don't really understand
Because he was in Buffalo last year, and he was the second option in Buffalo.
Yeah, and I think he's the second option in Las Vegas this year.
I don't know about that.
All right, who?
Oh,
He might be the damn one, if we're being really honest.
You got Henry Ruggs, who did struggle last year to make a connection with Derek Carr.
But they're invested in, so he's probably the one. Brian Edwards, honestly, if you walked in this studio right now, you probably wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah, Brian Edwards, second year out of South Carolina.
We heard so much stuff out of him from last year.
He was hyped. He was overhyped last year, but the only guy to have in Las Vegas last year was Nelson Aguilar. Mm-hmm. So, I guess there's a path for John Brown. It's not a bad pick in the 16th round.
I think it's a great pick here.
I think he slides into the Nelson Aguilar role, and
he could very well.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got 5 picks left. Jacoby Myers, Tootsie, Adam Harris. That's what I'm talking about. Late in the draft, you get a guy who could end up being the number 1 wide receiver for New England. Yep. I know their passing game's not going to be great, but still, somebody's got to get that workload. And if it's Mac Jones, I like it even better.
Sammy Watkins is a pick there. It's not bad. I like that pick for Kevin Vick. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the last round here, you know what I mean? So
right. At this point, you're looking for the biggest upside that you possibly can get. And those last 3 picks are damn good. And yes, I'm throwing John Brown into that category. Oh. It's just I'm not convinced what he's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I'm just looking over some of the rosters here as we are winding down the last 3 picks of the Superflex draft here on Mock Draft Monday, on Mock Draft Mania week here in the Sportsocracy. Don't forget to like, share, and follow, and hit that subscribe button everywhere, and share it with your friends as well. I really like Jason Trump's team.
As do I.
I think Robert Johnson did really well. His running backs are killer. The wide receivers are really good. He went with Ryan Tannehill as his QB1 and then ended up getting Jameis Winston. There's just a huge question mark with me for that, is that now what's your choice? If by some chance Jameis Winston is not the quarterback, you're going to play the waiver wire here and you're going to go get, Taysom Hill. You're going to feel good about that?
I would.
Mac Jones is still available if he doesn't get picked in the last 3
I feel
picks.
like anybody who picks Taysom Hill if they don't get Jameis Winston, other way around. If someone picks Jameis Winston, I think that you have to at least think about getting Taysom Hill on your team pretty quickly. I think that, especially if he's your second quarterback on your team.
Oh, yeah.
In a super flex. Because, let's be honest, if Taysom Hill does start, he's going to score points in fantasy. He did last year. He's going to get running game. He's going to get passing game. He's going to have a couple touchdowns, whether it's passing or running, every single game.
He's a guy and he's the last need that he needed.
Yes.
Kadarius Toney comes off the board.
God almighty, this guy is such a bane of my existence.
With the penultimate pick here of the Superflex draft.
Is that Whiteside?
Yep.
Whiteside. God damn you.
The last
need that you needed.
Love to see that name come up right at the end of the draft here, and then Flostradamus is on the clock with the final pick.
I said we had to take defenses, so I guess I have to take one. Baltimore Ravens.
There you go. Baltimore Ravens, the final pick of the draft.
And we have, there's my team.
Okay,
I don't
Jeremy's
quite
team.
know how that ended up on the screen like that. Because I'm a dumb shit.
Nice. Deshaun Watson is his starting quarterback. Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris is the terrible tandem there at running back.
Terrible tandem?
As in you're terrified to play those guys.
Yeah.
The dynamic duo, would you rather have me gone with that one? Julio Jones, CD Lamb, killer 1-2 punch there at wide receiver. Kittle's a no-doubter at tight end. Derek Carr, he's fine. He's going to be right up there, even in a horrible season for Derek Carr. He's probably still going to end up being a top 16 quarterback.
Yeah.
Defense of the Baltimore Ravens, Beaver front.
I like the fact that he's got
Beckham.
Odell and Brandon Cooks, who are two guys that score big.
Well, they're home run hitters.
Yeah.
If you're right about that, these guys are going to hit home runs for you.
The best thing on his bench is Alexander Madison. I think
having the lockup on Cook.
Yeah,
I
is
know I'm
100%.
Yep.
When you got the thing is, when you're picking running backs in your first round, I feel like it's almost necessary for you to somehow find a way to get their backup somewhere to get that just in case. Because if you lose your number one pick, especially at running back, and you don't have his backup on your team, you're almost throwing away a season.
All right, this is Brian's team.
Lamar Jackson killed it at quarterback. Justin Herbert. You pair those two together, that could be 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks in fantasy football this year. I love your quarterbacks. Your running backs are great. Derrick Henry, Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt as your 2 seems like a little bit of a stretch to me.
I'm okay with Kareem Hunt as your 2.
Are you? Okay.
I don't like his wide receivers, but I'm okay with Kareem Hunt as the
Kenny
2.
Galladay, Robbie Anderson.
You have the high upside flyer and Elijah Moore. You really need him to hit.
Yeah.
Because Robbie Anderson's going to drive you out of your damn
mind. The thing is, with my 2, I kind of went with some possible running backs, and my bench instead of a wide receiver. I'm looking at the team as a whole. I kind of like the team as a whole. And at wide receiver, like with Corey Davis, and I also look at McCole Hardman as having a good year, and John Brown can fit in there. So I like this team. I am a little thinner at wide receiver than I would have liked. But, I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Justin Herbert just right there as such a solid 1-2-3 punch.
Right.
That I think it's going to be hard to not look at that team and be happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Your quarterbacks are so good that it brings your floor up to such a point.
Yeah.
That it's hard to be unhappy. You've just got there are flyers on that bench.
Yeah.
Take the journey with me here.
Yeah.
And this is just looking at the draft board.
When I took Darrell Henderson.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you go back to that point. Hold on. This is fun when I'm the one hitting the buttons and doing all the shit. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. There we go. All right, if you go back to the point where you took Darrell Henderson, right there in the 5th round, would you be happier with your team had you taken Robert Woods?
Probably, now that I look back on it.
Yeah. It's really hard for me with the way this year sets up to figure out a way that I can take 3 running backs in the first 5 rounds and be happy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, because really look at the teams that did that. So Brian was one. Robert Johnson did, but he took them with his first 3 picks. I don't love his one.
Well, he also had to get auto drafted on his one.
And that part sucks. If he had taken Saquon Barkley there and had Saquon Eckler and Josh Jacobs, holy shit.
I know, right.
But then you look at his quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill and Jameis Winston. That's not great.
And it almost seems
so his floor is markedly lower. His ceiling's higher.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other, like the Team 11 with Chubb, DeAndre Swift, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And his receivers are DeAndre Hopkins and Brandon Ayuk. And he's playing Baker Mayfield as the only quarterback on the team.
Is it almost
bad.
Almost as if when you decide to take 3 running backs in your top 5, you're going to have to end up being lack on your wide receivers? Is that kind of where it's going to?
The way I mean, if you're in a 12-team league, you're going to lack somewhere. The question is, where can you find more high upside flyers?
Yeah.
And just looking at the way that our rosters are constructed, the one we haven't seen yet is Tanks. And let me get it up on the screen now. Hope I never say get it up and Tank in the same sentence ever again. All right, so if you look at Tank's roster, my problem with it is that he's got. I don't love either of the running backs because Barkley we've talked about. I like the talent on Sanders. If in my universe where Deshaun Watson ends up with the Philadelphia Eagles, great pick. You have a great number 2. Then there's just a lot of guys that I don't see any upside in. Okay. Like A.J. Greene, there's no upside there. He's going to have a few games. When are you ever going to play him? I mean, tell me at what time you look at your roster and go, I'm going to bench Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, Laviska Shenault, Marquise Brown, Antonio Brown for A.J. Greene. I don't see a path to that ever. So I undersold receiver because you can only play 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like there's never a time that I'm going to play more than 2 wide receivers.
Right.
Because in a super flex, it's going to be a quarterback or running back if I'm absolutely desperate.
Right.
So in this kind of roster build where you're playing 2 quarterbacks, to me, you need to walk out of this draft with 4. And Tank had, Tank had 3, and I think you had 3.
I had 3.
Well. So for me, I got 4. 2 of them are high upside flyers. I'm not saying any build is wrong.
Right.
In terms of the way I want to go in, I would rather have one of my late picks being Justin Fields.
Right.
Who, if I hit on him, he becomes a guy I play week in, week out, no doubt. A.J. Green's a guy that, like, 3 guys have to get hurt, and then I don't feel good about it, and even then I'm probably dropping him to pick somebody else up that winds up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a 16-team regular PPR draft, I 100% agree with you. You're playing 3 receivers. You need to have 5 or 6 guys that are playable.
I'll be honest with you. I took A.J. Greene in the 15th round because he was the guy that I saw with the most upside. My original plan was to take a quarterback. The quarterback that I had my eye on went at number 9 in the 15th round. It was Tua. That would have been, to me, home run. I got 2 guys. I got 2 young guys that I can feel pretty good in. Tua, to me, is just a lottery ticket. That if it happens, if it clicks for him this year, he could possibly be that guy. But I got snaked on Tua, and at that point I thought there was no other quarterback that I was willing to take a flyer on. Jared Goff, I'm out. I like the value that Jason Trump got him in the last round, but for me, I would rather have a higher upside guy.
Looking at the draft board, if I had to pick a winner, Robert Johnson's high end is very good. His top 5 was better than anybody else's. Mm-hmm. The problem is he runs into an issue at tight end and at quarterback.
Yeah,
so waiver-wise, you're going to be fucked all year long.
Yep.
So I'm not saying I hate that build. It's just going to be, you're going to be real lucky in waivers, and you're going to be pressed up against this all year long. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody else that stands out to the two of them?
Adam Harris's team he's got Patrick Mahomes, Joe Mixon, Antonio Gibson, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson. He still has Matt Stafford as his second. And then he still has Michael Pittman on the bench. He's got Ron Jones, Trey Sermon. Still has Tyler Boyd on the bench. He's got Tony Pollard if something happens. He still has Cam Newton if Casey starts. And his two tight ends aren't great, but he still has Austin Hooper and Pat Freiermuth. I actually like his team a lot.
I like Kevin Vick's team. Started with Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, J.K. Dobbins, Chris Godwin. Those guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Every one of them just, does something to me. And
I like Vick's team too. The problem, I look at Vick's. Yeah, I mean with Rodgers and Cousin, I'm okay with that.
Then he followed that up with Aaron Rodgers as his number one quarterback. Late in the draft, he got Kirk Cousins and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who I believe both could have major weeks this year. Mm-hmm. And then you got high upside guys like Chase Claypool and Jalen Waddle. Henry Ruggs is on that team.
Yeah.
He did a damn good job with that one. So hats off to you, Kevin.
I don't think any of the 9 of us that were actually in it did poorly. The 3 worst teams in this are all 3 of the computer teams.
No doubt about it.
A hell of a job, gents.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
I think it went really well. We will continue to do mock drafts throughout the week this week right here.
If there's a specific kind of mock draft you would like to see, let us know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Because we fully plan to do tight end premium. We'll do a standard. We'll do a best ball. And whatever else. If you've got a suggestion, just shout them out to us, and we'll get to it at some point. If we end up with too many, we'll just carry it on to to next week as well.
Yeah, we'll do best ball tomorrow.
Best ball?
Best ball draft tomorrow. All right. We are, of course, the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Brian Haynes alongside. Good to have you back in the studio.
Yeah, glad to be back, everybody. Miss y'all.
Jeremy Greene as well. We'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 to Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, 3 to 5 weekday afternoons. We will not have a radio show on Thursday this week because of day baseball with the Atlanta Braves. So, anyhow, that's one show done for the week. How you like that? Prep done. Anyhow, have a great afternoon, everybody. We will see you on the radio side at 3 o'clock. Back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here in the Wicked Weed studio. Don't forget to check out our friends at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. See you tomorrow.